Take a few deep breaths. This all started when the last thing I would do at night is take out my hearing aids, and I got into the habit of rubbing my ears afterwards. And then I went on to giving myself a head massage. So that got to be a habit. And one night, I got a little higher than I intended to the point of being non-functional. So I was lying on the sofa, and it occurred to me that a head rub might feel good. So I gave myself one, and then I went on down to my face. And the next thing I knew, I was rubbing my entire body. I was a massage therapist for a while, and I'm not really doing any massage therapy type moves. It's more just a question of feeling touch on my skin and feeling touch on my hands on my skin. And not just my hands, but as I'm reaching and touching with my hands, my arms rub against my body. And so I pay attention to that too. And the idea is sort of like we indulge our other senses. We eat foods that we like because we like the taste of them. And we listen to music because we like the sounds in our ears. But touch is also a sense, and we don't often exercise it, except maybe when we're having sex. But you can think of touching yourself and the feelings you get as sort of equivalent to what your taste buds experience, except to use that parallel, it's as if the taste buds were tasting the food and the food was tasting the taste buds. So you get both sides of the experience, and that's what happens when you touch yourself, is your hands are getting an experience and your body is getting an experience. I don't have any particular routine that I go through. I just start somewhere, and where I go to next is just sort of random, or wherever I haven't touched in a while, or wherever it seems like it would feel good to touch. So it's spontaneous as far as the actual movements are concerned. Every now and then, you may see me have a little spasm. I started getting those when I was having sex, and it's sort of like I looked it up. I wanted to see if there was anything on that kind of feeling. And, and there's a thing called an aesthetic chill. And it happens to some people when they listen to music. A particular passage of music will give them a chill. And it's also called a skin orgasm. But to me, although the sensation is coming through the skin, the stimulation is coming through the skin, what the actual spasm is a kind of full body thing, a lot abdominal, a lot. My stomach contracts. And it is sort of like if you took an orgasm and chopped out a few milliseconds of it and just experienced that millisecond, or those few milliseconds at once. That's sort of what it's like. It doesn't go on and on like an orgasm. It's a mini orgasm. Anyway, I found that I can have those feelings. I can give them to myself. It's just a question of sometimes there's some particular sequence of moves that feels so good, apparently, that it causes this little involuntary spasm. So now you can be watching me to see when I twitch. Our bodies do so much for us. I mean, they get us around. They allow us to manipulate the world, move around in the world. And for me, this is sort of a way of saying thank you to my body, that I appreciate all the wonderful things I'm able to do because it works the way it does. So it's literally a kind of self-appreciation, body appreciation, skin appreciation. Oh, that leg didn't want to go down. My hip was a little stiff there. But rubbing it a little, and it just relaxed. And that leg just went on down. So one thing I've noticed since I started doing that is that I have increased awareness of the sensations on my skin when I'm just walking around, doing the dishes. It's always with us, and it's always feeling something, our skin. But we don't necessarily pay much attention to it. And it's a missed opportunity if we don't, to sense our bodies and the world in a different way, we're so vision oriented. And really hearing as well. We listen to music a lot. But we don't necessarily pay that much attention to how our clothes feel on our skin. I have a fantasy every now and then, because I walk around my apartment and I touch myself just as I'm walking along. I either rub my hands on my thighs or down my arms, and it's, again, to compare it to taste, it's like putting a spoonful of ice cream in your mouth. It's a wonderful little sensation that you can interject into your experience. I do 20 minutes of stretching every morning, stretching and warm-ups, most mornings. And I'll find myself in the middle of my stretches and pausing to give myself a rub here and there. When I watch this video without talking about it, because talking is a distraction. So if you want to turn off the volume, that's perfectly fine. But because when I watch it without talking, I get a lot of the same relaxation response that I get when I'm actually doing it. So maybe you can pick up on a little of that. It's not only a sensual experience, it's a way of relaxing. It's amazing how relaxed I get. And it's a little paradoxical in that I'm moving and relaxing at the same time. But I don't have a lot of stress anyway. I have a fairly stress-free life. But there's a certain amount of stress involved in just getting the things done you need to do in everyday life. I mean, you have to discipline yourself to brush your teeth and feed yourself and take care of your body in various ways. And all that involves more attention and energy than definitely are involved in lying on the sofa and touching yourself. So it's a stress reducer for sure. Gives me just a sense of well-being. And it's free. I could go on with this for a very long time. Another half hour anyway. But I'm conscious that the video is going, and I should probably get up and turn that off. So, I take a few deep breaths and get up slowly, because my body has to sort of wake up and get back to work here. You can do it standing up too, and it has the advantage is you can reach areas that are harder to get to when you're lying down. And a little rocking back and forth and swaying. Let your body know it's time to move again.